What's up, guys? I was watching The View yesterday, and I kind of wanted to touch on this article about what Sonny was saying about Queen Elizabeth. And honestly, I really just don't agree with anything. Well, it's one point that she made, but I don't agree with what Sonny said about this thing with Queen Elizabeth. But to be real with you, just about everything that comes out of Sonny's mouth, it's just always racist or about racism or about just black people basically not getting what they're owed. It doesn't matter what it's about. She just everything that comes out of mouth is about racist or racism. No matter how you put it, that's all that spews out of her mouth, and it's just very annoying that even though the queen has passed away, it doesn't it doesn't put a stop button on her. She just goes anyway. She doesn't care. And honestly, the reason why I just don't agree with her is because what are you owed? That's what I really want to know. What are you owed? You're not owed anything. You're not a victim. You never was a victim. Stop with this racist stuff. Why wouldn't black people be racist? Nobody calls them out on being racist. Like, why do black people think that they can't be racist? You're racist, Sonny. Stop it. All this hatred towards, just white people, just stop it. You're not a victim. I understand that black people have been cheated out on a lot of things, and there have been things that, you know, basically have been shoved under the rug when it comes to black people. But at the same time, those people died and sacrificed everything, not just for their rights, but for us to have a better future. And we do. We're not victims or slaves or anything anymore. We're not forced to do anything anymore. Stop being racist. Why wasn't any of this said when she was alive in the first place? She goes to cover. Actually, I'm gonna just start the video so we can just watch it together and you can just hear this nonsense.
For a while, and I got caught up in the pomp and circumstance of it all as well. I wanted to see the changing of the guards. I wanted to see everything. I wanted to meet the queen because I think we all love glam and pageantry. And I think, though, we can mourn the queen and...
I'm gonna stop there for a second to say this. I don't think she went over there at all to meet the queen or anything. I think she went over there to do what people like her always do. They want to go and see if what they feel towards something, their hatred that they feel towards something is correct. She didn't go over there to see what they do and how things work over there. She went to see if these people were the piece of white trash or whatever you want to call them that they are. She went over there with hatred and wanted to prove that hatred right. You didn't go over there to meet the queen or to see any of the stuff. You wanted to see if the queen was basically the piece of white, the white supremacist that you believed her to be. Whether she was, this woman that oppressed blacks and people of brown skin. That's what you went over there for. You didn't go over there with wanting to know more about their monarchy or anything. You went over there to try to prove yourself right, Sonny. Stop lying.
Not the empire.
Yeah.
Because if you really think about what the monarchy was built on, it was built on the backs of black and brown people. She wore a crown with pillaged stones from India and Africa. And now what you're seeing, at least in the black communities that I'm a part of, they want reparations. You know, Barbados left the sort of this monarchy, this colonization.
Yeah.
Jamaica, I have a lot of Jamaican friends. That's coming soon. And right now, Charles now is in a position. I think, has 14 colonies that he is now head of state, including Australia and Canada, I believe, if I'm correct. It's time for him to modernize this monarchy, and it's time for him to provide reparations to all of those colonies. And I also think, a monarchy, it's very easy to uplift one family. The harder thing is to uplift all families. And I think that he's in a position to be able to do that.
You do know You do know that Queen Elizabeth fought against apartheid in South Africa.
That was one of the good things she did.
She was. And she also was very angry with Thatcher, who refused to do sanctions against South Africa.
Yeah.
So she tried, I think, her best, if she could, every once in a while. She really didn't have that much power. She was the figurehead.
Well, look, the United States was built on the backs of...
And right there, like Joy, she covered a strong point, and that's true. I did some research, and that part is very true. I'm glad that she defended the Queen on that one. Maybe the monarchy didn't do a damn thing, but the Queen did try to do something. It just failed because of basically what Joy just said. She was mostly a figurehead. And Sonny goes on to say that's one thing that she did, but the thing is, you could just hear it in her voice that she didn't even want to admit to that. She didn't want to give this lady any type of accolade at all because she don't believe that this woman was trying to do anything to help them or help people of black and brown color, is what she says. What reparations, man? Why do y'all keep asking for free stuff? Why do y'all think because y'all are a specific color that you deserve more than everyone else? Why is that? Stop doing that, man. And like I said, all those people from those generations and generations ago, they're dead now. And what they did was for the better of our future. Why can't everyone understand that? Why can't people see that the problem with blacks that we have is the current cesspool of hatred that is being taught to each generation now? Why are we still teaching our generation hatred after hatred after hatred? There's things in our community we need to work on. That has nothing to do with any of that. You're worrying about reparations when we got all this other nonsense going on with our own community in America. Our black community in America is just failing because each and every generation is being taught nothing more than just hatred. And hatred and more hatred. Stop doing that, Sonny. It's not just you. But this right here with the Queen, to me, it's just disgusting, man. It just really is.
Black and brown
And
people.
we want our reparations.
And, the Catholic Church was built on the backs of people who black and brown people who were forced to convert to Catholicism.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of that we're coming to terms with, and I think one of the things that Charles can do to get some popularity is maybe take some time away from speaking to his plants and speak to this issue.
Yeah,
recognize this issue.
We're speaking to who with the first?
Speaking to his plants. He likes to speak
and
to
maybe
the plants.
bring his family back together after the allegations of racism that have been made by Duchess Meghan Markle and her husband, his son, Prince Harry. Maybe they can address that as well.
Well, I think when we asked the correspondent, like, what could he do that would be different, I think modernizing would be a smart step for him, purely because I think it's important to separate the Queen from the monarchy and the empire, as you said, because
I totally agree with that. Modernizing it, like they raised a strong point on it. And that's the only part I agree with that Sonny said. The modernization should be a thing of the empire. It just should. The Queen should be separate from all of that. Because, well, in Sonny's eyes, they're all the same thing. But I really think that would help out with, the issue of, the empire that's going on. But at the same time, like, I don't think that anything's going to be solved with people just hating and asking for more free stuff. That's all I'm saying, man.
I think sometimes that's conflated. And I was a little sad yesterday because I saw some posts and articles written about some things that people were tweeting. And one of them was awful. It was from a professor at Carnegie Mellon who said, "I heard the chief monarch of a thieving, raping, genocidal empire is finally dying. May her pain be excruciating."
Oh, man.
And I thought, how do you answer? I mean, that is literally answering with such a hateful heart. And it wasn't the tweet that almost more shocking was the tens of thousands of likes on that tweet. And to me, that was a moment where you're answering the very hate you reject with hate.
Well, that's why you separate the Queen
it's important,
with the empire, because
I think
there
people
isn't a
conflate the
lie
two
in the rest of that tweet. What did he say? He said
she said, thieving, raping, genocidal empire is finally dying. May her pain be excruciating.
It was a thieving, raping, genocidal
but I think
empire.
Twitter took that tweet down because it violated its policies of wishing pain.
Yeah, and Carnegie Mellon also, because this is a professor that teaches young people. This is an educated.
Now, granted, he's not wrong. Yeah, he went about it in the most vulgar, disrespectful way. But we didn't need to hear that again. And honestly, let's talk about this for a second. What's different from the way he feels about it and the way Sonny feels about it? Like, explain to me what's different. The same amount of hatred is on both of them. Yeah, he was a bit more vulgar about what he said, but Sonny's basically doing the same thing, just in a more, I guess, respectable, passive nature. That's it. They both had the same amount of hatred. Both of them. What makes her different? What makes her think that she's any better than him? Outside of the fact that he just was blunt about the way he felt. Just saying. So leave what you think in the comments, because I don't see the difference.
And a leader. And the university said something important. Aside from not, this doesn't represent the values of the institution, they said, nor the standards of discourse we seek to foster, which is important because this wasn't just a regular average citizen. This was an academic who leads our young
Sarah,
people.
One of the things we can't do is we can't tell people from, who've been colonized. We can't tell people who've been barbarized how to feel. And it's very difficult to understand it if you haven't been in those shoes.
But be responsible for tweeting.
No, that's why I got taken down.
There too. I think there's got to be some grace. Like she doesn't deserve pain and suffering.
But yeah, that's about it with that. Just let me know what y'all think in the comments. How do y'all feel about what she said? How do y'all feel about, the current mindset of just blacks as a whole? And not only just that, like, do any of y'all even think that it was appropriate for her to say what she said after the lady died? I really think that she could have said this before. If it was solely about the monarchy and not really the queen, as she was trying to say, I don't understand why it came out now. You could have said this before. Maybe, just maybe, them celebrating her death was just the final straw for her. She's just sick of hearing it. She's sick of seeing it, and she's just sick of it. But doesn't that really just prove that you have some disdain towards the queen herself? Even though you're trying to say that you just don't. It's basically about the monarchy. It's not true. At the end of the day, Sonny, you're a racist. You need to stop. All you're teaching is just hatred. Stop doing that. I don't know why those people in the crowd is clapping for you. Stop teaching hatred, man. Stop teaching racism. I really do understand that black people have gotten the short end of the stick and they've been cheated out of a lot. But I don't think the way that y'all are going about it is going to help anything. Stop asking for free stuff. It's not.